Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Great to see you all. Yes, Tim, the Snowbirds. Yeah, I saw that they actually filled in for the Blue Angels down near L.A. There was another air show. Yes, Donna Rose, big baseball thing. Hopefully the Blue Jays can put those Yankees away.
I bet
Not
she's
a
a
day for
Yankees
big
fan.
baseball fans.
I know. I'm pretty sure she probably is.
Yeah.
But knowing Toronto teams have a really good way of blowing leads. Like
Only
we do.
second only to the Braves.
That we just
I'm glad you said Leeds at the end of that
no,
statement.
our hockey team is so pathetic. It's awful. Our basketball team's not great, but anyway. Hi, Mazoos.
Hey, Mazoots.
Well,
Thank you for
the
your
rugby
contribution,
team did
sir.
all right. They came second.
Nice to see you, Mr. Lanwarren. Neil, haven't seen him for a while.
So sad, Dr. Mazoots, that you weren't able to see Miss Liz.
I know. That was a Canadian government. I think his travel document came. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Donna Rose, for saying that. It's just we haven't had a winning team for a while. We'd really like it. And gosh, that guy pitched on. I'm not back on the bandwagon. I've just jumped on the bandwagon. I think
So
Mazouz said he got his travel document the day after he canceled everything.
Brilliant. So, Captain Cruz, I'm not sure if we've seen you here on our show, but I think I've seen you on all the PTUK shows. Am I correct about that, or is this a different Captain Cruz? Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch's cereal.
I know. I love that cereal.
Never had Captain Crunch. Never had it.
It's so good.
I don't know if we have it.
It's not good for you, but it's good.
No, I know. Most of the good cereals aren't good for you.
Yeah.
See, I guess I'm showing my age here. I really do like Raisin Bran, but then I always add a whole bunch more raisins because they don't put enough raisins in it. So I have my own stash of raisins.
I mean, with all those scoops of raisins they claim they put in, you still have to put more scoops in, huh?
Of course. I want the ratio of raisins to flakes to be like equal.
What's the commercial? 2 scoops of raisins in every
2 scoops of raisins in a cloud of Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran.
2 scoops.
But they don't tell you how big those scoops are.
Well, they're
little teeny tiny scoops.
And I don't know. I bought a big bag of raisins to do this, and the raisins are tiny. It's like anyway.
Sorry, Neil. Yeah, that was kind of little. We were discombobulated.
We were discombobulated.
Yeah, we were definitely discombobulated with our scheduling of everything, and things weren't working out. Although I'll have to say, after we decided we were going to call the show on Friday, then everything miraculously improved, and we actually had a nice long conversation, not on air. We didn't do a show, of course, and it was like no hiccup at all.
Great, yeah. Magically delicious, Tim.
Magically.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Lucky Charms.
Those are little marshmallow things, right?
Mm-hmm. Those are delicious.
You know the other one that I don't think we have here anymore is Count Chocula. Do you remember Count Chocula?
Yeah, I like Count Chocula. Yeah.
Peter Tarantelli. By the way, Tim Van Ram, Jeff has got his recorder on. Recorders, plural.
We're good.
We're good.
Good.
Anyway, it's nice to see all y'all. So we're going to get going in a moment, and then Steph and AJ are going to join us, and maybe Camacho. We'd really like to see him, but that work thing he's doing is just too darn demanding.
But he did, Camacho did check in with me about an hour ago, I think, just to make sure that everything was set up properly in his home studio. So
it's looking
that's
a little
a
optimistic.
positive sign.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We've been holding a piece of feedback for him, I think from you, Peter Tarantelli, for like weeks.
Should I, you know what I should probably do? I should probably assign Steph that 5th slot in Unity.
Sure.
Because I think it's more likely that she'll be joining us than Camacho, right? Is that what you think?
It seemed like it, unless she has a disaster at work. She said she'd be here. She
Okay,
thought
let me,
she thought she could be here.
Let me do this.
We're never sure with these working folks. Well, AJ seems a bit reliable, but although didn't AJ say his contract was coming to an end or something? Oh yeah, because of
think
the shutdown.
The shutdown. But I don't know if I wonder if he has been affected by the shutdown.
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out. Maybe
I guess we will.
let's ask him.
We will.
So I will in my
Frankenberry, Frankenberry.
getting to know us. I'll talk about the fact that I didn't go to Fort Lauderdale and that I do plan on traveling next week.
Right. For a very special
And
occasion.
I think I'll be leaving on Thursday,
right.
which is not going to make Jane happy because I just got
I
notification that there's
know.
another funeral on Thursday.
Well, you
But
got
she knew
to-
I was going to be gone for the weekend anyway. I already warned her of that.
Right.
But,
It's a special event. I'm so glad you're going. You better take lots of pictures or you'll be in my bad books.
well, just keep reminding me, okay?
I'll send you a text every hour on the hour. Photos.
Okay. Actually, that probably would be a good idea
Yeah, right.
because I sometimes get all caught up in stuff and don't think about it, you know?
I'm sure we were all the same when we were kids. I mean, our parents didn't let us have those good cereals, right? Like you had to have, Cheerios or something like that.
Porridge.
But then, I actually love porridge. But then around Christmas, my mom would let us have like a box of the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a treat.
Bad stuff. And your teeth start falling out.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's probably the reason I'm having to have this implant now, because of her. I should blame her.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that cereal.
It's all her fault.
All those Christmases of cereal.
What a bad mom you had.
No, you did.
Okay. I'm going to go over here to media assets.
Yeah, it's getting to be the temperature. I'm going to start having porridge in the morning. I like porridge.
All right. Are we all
Always
ready?
always put raisins in that too. Oh yeah, I'm ready. Just a minute.
Oh, wait. Oh, hang on. I got to do one more thing. I got to get my keynote fired. Fire up that keynote.
Okie dokie, Smokey.
Media key.
Yeah, no candy for breakfast. That's true.
So, how long before we go live? Oh, we are live. How long before we start the show?
I was just about to start it. If you need to take...
Okay, I'll go and have my wee now then.
Yeah.
Okay, you do that.
Get her done. Just don't take your microphone.
Get her done.
We don't want to hear any of that stuff.
No, we do not. We do not.
Well, that's how
Okay.
kids learn French up here, Tim, is all the French on the cereal boxes and stuff. No, we actually learn French in school.
Okay,
That sounded like an aircraft.
it did.
They flying very low over your place or something, Jeff?
It's some airline called Bass Aviation.
Wait a minute, just had a message from Stephanie. Stephanie's saying she is struggling to get out of the office.
Okay. Have they chained her to the
I think
operating table?
so. Sounds like it.
It's sad.
Tim Van Ram, do I speak French? I used to speak French pretty fluently. I've let it slide. I can read French pretty well. I used to read a French book every year, once a year to keep it up, but that's also, I've let that slide too. But I'm pretty good at reading French. Speaking, not so much anymore.
I'm good at kissing French.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I'm back.
He's back. Are we ready?
He's back. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Ready when you are, sir.
Let's do her.
You're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show The view from our side of the cockpit door.
WAPG. It's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Airline Pilot Guy, episode 679.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Hello, you're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy show. The view from our side of the cockpit door with your host, Captain Jeff, broadcasting live from APG headquarters in Roswell, Georgia. Today's show is recorded the week of October 6th, 2025.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy. Picture light and he's flying by. With the Airline Pilot Guy.
In today's episode, two planes collide on a LaGuardia taxiway and plans to modernize the U.S. air traffic control system. Also ahead, your feedback and today's plane tale, fast jets on the front line. So get all settled in. Tray tables and seat backs in the upright and lock positions. Electronic devices powered on. I'm Radio Roger, and Flight 679 is ready for pushback.
Well, thank you, Radio Roger. He is an award-winning TV and radio reporter, currently at the number one all-news station in the nation, 1010 Wins, on 92.3 FM in
New York City!
Welcome to the Airline Pilot Guy Show. It's an aviation podcast covering the latest in aviation news and answering your great feedback. I'm Captain Jeff, a former U.S. Air Force pilot, retired Delta Airlines captain, and joining me from his studio,
in Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire.
retired professional dog shooter, former RAF fighter pilot, unemployed Airbus A330, A340 very senior captain, and head butt pusher for Virgin Over the Pond Airways. It's Captain Nick. It's always interesting to see what Captain Nick is going to have to read.
Someone's been messing with.
Yeah.
Someone's been messing with my intro, Jeff.
Yeah, I think I know.
Okay, APG 679. There is an STD 679. No, not a sexually transmitted disease, but a Lycoming OEM aircraft engine part. Now, each of the screws you can see on the screen, they're barely half an inch long, retails for a mere $98.75 each, which makes a contribution to the APG Coffee Fund appear all the more attractive and affordable.
That's a good point. Thank you for making it. All right. I like that. Okay.
Can you believe it? Nearly $100 for one.
I've just put an order in for 20 of them.
Well, there you go. Sell them for a profit. You could corner the
I hope
market.
hope you don't lose the screw, because that would be a screw loose. Okay, let's.
Yeah.
Lots of screws loose.
Sorry.
Yes,
The
yes,
boom,
an
boom.
expensive screw,
The boom, boom.
said the actress to the bishop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, from her studio in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, we have a retired financier and aviation enthusiast, spreadsheet master, and our producer. It's Liz Piper.
Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's well. Good to see a good crowd in the chat room today.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. All right.
All right,
Well,
gentlemen, have a great
hoping,
show.
Yeah, hoping not to disappoint. Oh, and just in case you're interested, we do plan on having some other co-hosts join us as the show is in progress. In fact, one of them I see in the live audience, racing
Okay.
home at breakneck speed, AJ.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
all right, be careful out there. Don't break any laws. Or not too many anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and do some aviation news.
Stand by for news.
Alrighty. The first item we have is from several news sources. Always remember that we have show notes that go along with each of these shows, and all of, or most of the things that we're talking about are located in them, should you want to. Oh, no. Okay. Well, thank you for telling me. Okay.
Telling you what? What's that mean?
She's telling me that my mic is too hot.
Oh, really? I don't.
What does everybody think
notice.
in the YouTubes? Yeah, I did. I tapped the fader down a little bit. Okay. Oh, no. I'm glad that you said it now rather than later. Tim says mic level is good. And AJ said it was a bit hot. Still a bit hot? Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay, we're going to start off with this first item in our news segment, and it comes from many sources. And I just want to remind everyone that we do have some, what's the word?
More
Extensive,
information.
extensive show notes available for you with several links, in depth, yes, and comprehensive, maybe even though I'm incomprehensible. But anyway, so check out the show notes. We have all these things that we refer to, especially the videos as well. So this first item, as I said, comes from many sources, but let's see. This one I'm going to start reading from is from the New York Times. Plane that was preparing for takeoff. This is LaGuardia Airport, by the way. Two planes collide on a taxiway at LaGuardia. A plane that was preparing to take. That's true. They didn't. It was a taxiway. Wow. They accidentally got it right. A plane that was preparing to take off struck a plane that had landed. One flight attendant was injured, and the FAA is investigating. These flights were operated. They were CRJ 900s, operated by a subsidiary of Delta Airlines, Endeavor Airlines, and one had just landed and was following the instructions from the controllers to taxi to the ramp area. And the other had just received instructions to head out to runway 13, eventually including the instruction to hold short or give way to a inbound airplane on taxiway Mike. So, you know what? We have some information here that we can listen to on the video. So let me through. Please. Yes. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play right now. So see what happens. Okay. I think, yeah, there's the video of the collision, and then I think we're going to hear a little bit more. Oh, you know what? You're right, Liz. Let me start over. That was the second one that I was going to play. So you can put it back up, and then I'm going to pretend like nothing happened. This from Bass Aviation, Real Aviation Communications. They use liveatc.net audio. This happened on the 1st of October.
5047, Golf, Bravo. There, 5047, LaGuardia on taxi, Bravo Mike to lane 12. Bravo Mike, lane 12, number 5047.
Okay, that's the inbound, had just landed.
There, 5155, ground 13, taxi, Alpha Echo, hold short of 4 at Mike, give way to company.
Alpha Echo and hold short of 4 at Mike, give way to the company to 13, 621.
Okay, and we're seeing the reenactment on the video of the, yeah, he read it back correctly, and it was understandable to me what the instructions were. And then the depiction here on Bass Aviation's video is showing the inbound aircraft coming in on Mike, about to go into lane 12, and the outbound aircraft on Alpha, apparently not paying attention and hitting the inbound aircraft. And then this.
Ground Endeavor 5047, we need trucks on Mike.
What kind of trucks?
Yes.
There, 5047, say again?
We need trucks on Alpha.
Trucks.
The emergency truck, sir?
We have 2 CRJs on Mike that collided.
Right, stand by. There 5047, there 5155, we're going to have the truck going out there now.
Hey, just curious, are the trucks going to be up on this frequency?
Once they come out, I'll let you know. And you guys did clip, correct?
Yeah, we did. Their right wing clipped our nose and the cockpit. Is to our windscreen and some of our screen. The engine's running still. We'd like to shut it down when we can.
Right, stand by.
We have no injuries.
Right.
So one captain's
Right.
watching his career go past his eyes right now.
Possibly, yeah. That can't be a good thing on your CV or your resume.
Toronto 5155, do you permission to shut down?
Who's Western shutdown?
5155.
And at 5155, that's your discretion, sir.
I was going to say, I was going to save this until our discussion, but I can't help myself. Like, you were just involved in an accident. Why are you asked? I mean, it's one thing when you're taxiing out and things are all backed up and you're thinking you're going to be on the ground for a while, and in order to save fuel, you want to shut down your engines and to ask permission from air traffic control so they know that you can't move your airplane once you do that. This is a situation where if you need to shut down your engines, then shut down your darn engines. And the tower guy basically confirms that, saying, yeah, it's your discretion. I mean, yeah, exactly. So anyway, I'm sorry.
But I guess they're both in a bit of shock, particularly the guy that's just made a mess of his clearance and drove into the other fella.
Yep, I think you're right. Okay, let's see what else is left here on this video.
And at 5155, do you have any injuries on board?
We have one injury to a flight attendant.
And at 5155, do you have any additional information in reference to the injury? Just the emergency vehicles want to know.
It sounds like she hit her knee. That's all she told me.
Okay, you go to my secondary frequency. It's 1995. You're going to see the emergency vehicles on them. They're waiting for you, so just describe to the best of your ability the injury on board.
Thank you.
Water tower, Rescue 7. Rescue 7, LaGuardia ground.
And the pilot with the nose damage on the Embraer contact us through the free frequency.
Endeavor 5047. Rescue 7, they should be on frequency 1995. Try to 1995, Rescue 7, he's on that frequency.
Copy that, thank you.
Oh, yeah, good point. Only one minor injury was reported, according to the video here. Okay. And then we're going to play the next video, and that actually shows some closed circuit television or video coverage of the actual impact itself. So here we go. I think. Here we go. So there's the inbound aircraft coming in, and then the one that's supposed to give way doesn't. And the right wing hits.
Well,
I mean, clipping. I'd say clipping is a very minor way to describe what happened here. The
not
entire
exactly a fender bender, is it?
No,
he
not
nearly
at all.
put his wingtip into the cockpit. So I expect the two guys in the other one were going, "Wow,
What is he doing? Oh no! Oh, this can't be good." Yeah, it's not a good.
Hell.
Not a good situation. Yeah, we're gonna have some talking to do. We're gonna have what do you guys say? To have some tea and biscuits with the chief pilot?
Yeah, except no tea and no biscuits.
Yeah, I didn't realize Captain Cruz is saying Embraer. Didn't realize that Canadair, Bombardier had merged with Embraer. Something new. They didn't. Anyway, so I've been reading a lot of and watching other videos covering this accident. There has been, like Juan Broncolirio, Juan Brown of the Broncolirio channel was saying, that the instructions for the outbound aircraft weren't really clear, and I'm thinking, well, I don't know how much he's actually flown in and out of LaGuardia. I thought it was
told
pretty
him
clear.
to give way at Mike, so
Yeah.
and he's approaching Mike, so I'm not quite sure how that could be clearer, but
I think I even commented on that video's comment page, whatever, that it's if he could have made it a little bit more clear if he had had a slight pause after he had given the instructions to go out to the runway and hold short of runway 4, in which they'd have to cross to get over to 13. But the problem is LaGuardia, if you, as like many of these really busy airports, if you leave just a half a second or a quarter of a second too long of a pause in your communication, people are going to think that you are finished saying what you were saying, and then they start reading back and covering up the critical or crucial information of holding or give way to blah blah blah. So they're almost their arms or hands are tied. They have to kind of get all of it out in one thing, and you just have to understand what they're saying. And I really do think that they understood. It's just maybe the captain thought that that giving way at Mike thing was something like way down, much further, that he didn't have to worry about right now, or perhaps he was looking over to the left at his iPad screen, maybe referring to the taxiway diagram or whatever to make sure he was doing what he was supposed to do. Maybe the first officer may have been heads down doing something else, didn't see the aircraft coming in, or maybe the first officer was saying, "Hey, boss, over here, stop." Too late. I don't know. It would be nice to hear the cockpit voice recorder in that particular cockpit. Actually, both of them. Yeah, there was no.
I quite agree. It could also be quite amusing, but we had some fairly strict rules on the flight deck when we were taxiing, partly because we were in big bloody airplanes and the bits stick out a very long way. But so whoever was steering, could be either of you, their job was to keep their heads looking around and just steer. And the other guy was responsible for navigating, so that you didn't both go and put your head into the plates to have a look at the taxiway layout or whatever. Someone always had their head out, 100% concentrating on where the airplane's going. So, it's a combined effort. If the guy with his head out didn't have his head out, or the guy that was supposed to be in charge of navigating was too slow to go, "Oh, we're supposed to stop here, Catherine," then, that's how these things happen. But having said that, when an airplane gets that big in your windshield, you must be going, "This is a bit tight. I think we'll just err on the safe of
what is he doing?
Caution here. Let's just slow down or just stop for a bit and just see what's going on."
Good advice.
Oh, wow.
And the other thing is, I wonder, and another reason why I would like to hear the cockpit voice recorder, after the instruction was read back by the first officer, was there a discussion between the first officer and the captain as to, let's say this clearance again, and let's make sure we understand what he wants us to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it just happened so quickly there wasn't time to do that. I don't know. But it was completely unnecessary, this collision.
Yep. Yeah, we've had a few that we can understand how these mistakes happen, but this one, no, I'm sorry. Pretty cut and dried, I'm afraid.
Peter's in our live audience says, "Well, he did swerve to the left. I got to give him that." Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like it gives that right wing a little bit more momentum to smash into that airplane. If you look at the video, it's pretty.
Oh
Yeah, like cracking the whip there. Yeah, you're right. Taking that slack out of the whip and making it really hurt. I don't know. Now I do have to say that when I first saw the headline or the live whatever on X or whatever it was, I saw that two airplanes had collided at LaGuardia. I swear that the headline was that it took the right wing off of the CRJ 900 that struck the other aircraft. And I went, "Oh, this is interesting. Wow, that had to be a pretty darn hard impact for the whole wing to fall
Would
off."
have been impressive.
Yeah. But apparently that was a little overhyped. Yeah. Anyway,
I mean,
okay, so we
there are
have that.
three major airports around New York, but all of them seem to have their fair share of ground collisions, don't they?
Yep. Well, and then if you've ever had any experience on the roads in cars or other surface vehicles, you'd see that that's kind of a common thing in that whole area.
Yep.
Hitting other things. All right. Anyway, so the next thing, many of you may be familiar, especially those of us living here in the United States of America, that the government has shut down, and it's been shut down now for more than a week, and we have heard that there are some problems that are kind of creeping into the aviation services availability here in our country. One of which is Burbank, California. Burbank Tower, apparently, because of staffing issues, had to basically revert to non-tower operations there. And we have a little bit of audio to hear, kind of give you a little tease or a picture of what's happening out there.
Tower, this is United 2304, requesting permission to land.
Thank you for calling the Burbank Airport Control Tower. Please listen closely as some of our menu options have changed. For takeoff, press 1. For landing, press 2. For all other inquiries, stay on the line. An operator is not standing by.
Yeah, so there you go. There's just tough times there at Burbank Tower. Yeah. So this whole government shutdown is affecting certain areas of the operation of things here in our country more than other areas. But of course, the one that it seems like a lot of people feel is the air traffic control, the national airspace system here. Related to that, the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy lays out sweeping ATC modernization plan. It's not easy for me to say that. This is from flyingmag.com. The project calls for the construction of 6 new centers and 15 towers. And this news article was published on the 8th of May, 2025. Really? Oh, okay. It seems like it would more recent than that. I don't know. I don't know. That's odd. Maybe that's just a spurious date that I see here on this. With Newark Liberty International Airport still recovering from a 90-second air traffic control blackout that left pilots in the dark, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy laid out plans to monitor. Maybe this was back earlier in the year, and where he basically laid out the plan to modernize, and maybe this was just republished again to kind of emphasize the fact that our system needs to be refurbished and rebuilt and modernized. We have another article here that also says it was published a while back, but it definitely does have something to do with the fact that our system is definitely hurting and needs to be fixed. And the FAA, the headline here, again from Flying Magazine, FAA is turning to cash bonuses to attract air traffic controllers. FAA Academy graduates will get thousands in incentives for completing training and accepting roles in hard-to-staff regions. And again, back in May, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy unveiled a raft of measures designed to expand the ranks of the nation's air traffic controllers. And I guess, what we can talk about right now that's happening right now is the fact that because the air traffic controller jobs are, they're government jobs, but they're considered very important public safety kind of jobs. They are not being laid off, but they are not receiving their current paychecks. So they will get paid when this whole thing is recovered and the government goes back into business. But as many of us know listening, there are a lot of people in this world, especially here in the United States, that live basically paycheck to paycheck. And so when you're thinking about the fact that you have a mortgage to pay, and you might have childcare expenses, you might have educational expenses for your children. I don't know. You might have a mistress on the side. She's expecting her money too. Just kidding. So they're probably concerned about their paychecks, and that can't be a good thing. Trying to control airplanes and thinking about these kind of financial pressures, whether they're in the front of your mind or not, they're still there, and so much so that a lot of controllers in key airports have been calling in sick at a higher rate than normal, and that is causing the problem right now in the national airspace system. Oh, Michael, main man Micah in our live audience says the latest news today is that the chief executive is saying he's not going to offer back pay, even though it was a law he signed to require the government to offer back pay during his first term. Huh. Wow. Okay. I'm not sure. Wow. If that's even
Why would he
that
not
can do.
want to pay people who are coming to work at the moment and not getting paid? Why is he not offering to pay them what they're due?
I don't know. I'm wondering if that's maybe a possible misinterpretation.
Could be a rumor. Or I don't know.
Okay.
Oh well. Micah is
doesn't
usually pretty good on his sources.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, well, maybe he thinks that that's going to somehow incentivize them to get everything going more quickly, but I don't know. It might have the opposite effect.
Yeah, exactly right. Because if I say, well, I'm not even going to get my back pay, I'm not going to bother. Thank you very much.
Wow. I didn't know that was something that you could even... Okay, October 7th, and you sent it to me on texted. Okay, let me take a look here. Okay, this is from Axios news source, October 7th. White House memo says furloughed federal workers aren't entitled to back pay. Yeah, that's true. No, they're not. So maybe this is apples and oranges. Maybe this affects those who are not in those public safety positions, who are actually not working and are furloughed at the moment. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to affect the air traffic controllers. But I know that even some of the people in the live audience have friends who are active air traffic controllers. Maybe they can get the scoop for us while we are recording the show live on Wednesday, October 8th. But yeah, I just can't imagine that would be true for the actual guys and gals that are out there working in the towers and the radar facilities and the center facilities in our national airspace system. Anyway, so it's a mess, basically, and we're hoping that our politicians, get together and come up with a way to get the government working again and getting everything reset. All right. So Alpha Juliet looks like he has joined us. He is home from work, and whenever he wants to join us in the video, you're welcome to, sir. And I think he's still getting set up right now. Nope, here he is. Hello.
Hello.
So speaking of people that are working under governmental contracts, how has this affected your work, sir?
Sort of, kind of, not yet.
Okay.
Technically, yes, but our contract is paid until close to the end of the month, or funded, I should say.
Okay.
So we didn't turn into a pumpkin immediately, but somewhere in the vicinity of October 27th, it sounds like we might.
I see.
Most of the building is gone.
Oh no, what happened to it?
Yeah.
Is there an earthquake or something?
It's been honestly kind of depressing watching people come in and turn in their laptops and all that kind of stuff, because only a certain portion of the people in our building is considered essential. So a lot of people have been furloughed or worse. So.
Oh, wow. That's tough.
Yeah. Well, we're all hoping that this gets resolved. I think most people have the feeling that it will be resolved sooner rather than later compared to previous government shutdowns. This is not a
You
new
mean
thing.
the last one?
Well, the last one was kind of
35
a
days?
long one. Yes,
Yeah.
much. That was like one of the longest ever. But
I think there was one longer than that, was like 60 something, 67 days or something like that.
oh wow.
I think that was the longest one. That was a while back.
Well, let's just hope. And if you're the kind of person that prays, let's hope and pray that the politicians kind of get their acts together and start thinking about, the people in the country that kind of rely upon paychecks and these services to live their lives. So
And I know you were talking about it just before I logged on. I was listening in the car on the way home, but you mentioned Burbank Tower being everybody not showing up. Atlanta Tracon is having some staffing issues as well. This past week, we had a NOTAM at our airport or on the ATIS that said no, Atlanta Tracon is not allowing any practice approaches due to staffing issues.
Okay.
So you couldn't do certain operations with them. They were very understaffed and overstretched.
I remember seeing a memo that talked about the three big New York area airports, Dallas, Denver, I think maybe Vegas, and some more out on the West Coast in addition to Burbank. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these facilities are definitely feeling the pinch and the effect of this political argument. So, and we try not to get political on the show, so that's about as far as I want to get into that. But yeah, let's just say that things are not running smoothly here in the national airspace system in the United States of America, and we're hoping that things will get better soon. All right, time to get to know us, and I'm gonna hit this button right here. Getting to know us, that's the time of the show where we get to find out what everybody has been up to between shows. And speaking of the whole mess in the national airspace system and the airline schedules and all that kind of stuff, well, it's kind of nice. I have the RVS, which is the Road Vessel Studio, which is my recreational vehicle, my motorhome. Because instead of flying, which is what I thought I was going to do next week, toward the end of the week, instead of flying up to Detroit or into Detroit International and then renting a car and driving over to near Ann Arbor, Michigan, to attend a very important wedding. One of our famous or infamous, maybe, APG community members, Laura Davis, and Gary are getting married, and they invited me to attend their wedding. So I'm going to be representing all of you listening right now.
Applause sound effect. Come on now.
Yeah.
What? Oh, applause.
Applause
okay.
sound effect. Come on. What are you
Thank
doing? Yay!
I'm sorry. Yay! Is that?
For the announcement of their wedding, I thought that was appropriate.
Okay. Oh, I thought you meant for me driving my motorhome up there. Okay, I got you.
No, that's a different sound effect.
Yeah.
The sad trombone. Or this. The laugh track. Anyway, so I, for several different reasons, but I finally made the decision to drive the RVS up there, make it a 2-day trip. And so I'm looking so forward to attending the rehearsal dinner and the wedding on Friday and Saturday. And Liz has made me swear that I'm going to take a lot of pictures and I don't know, maybe even possibly get some audio. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to that. So I'll be avoiding this whole mess in the NAS. So
good idea.
Yeah. So let's see, what else have I been up to? It's just been Oh, I did. I went to a concert, a choral concert. One of the young ladies, a high school senior in our adult choir at the church, is also active in the chorus in her high school. And they had a concert last night that I attended. That was nice. I did mention last week that I was going to be heading down to Fort Lauderdale to attend a celebration of life of An, the young lady that was going to, the Vietnamese lady that was going to fly around the world, but then sadly, tragically passed away in a crash. And I didn't make it down there because the next day when I was supposed to fly, I just felt bad. I mean, I just didn't feel good at all. I thought, this is not good for me to expose myself. I don't know if I have something that's contagious or what. I was going to expose myself, Liz, yes, and that would have landed me in jail, I'm sure. But I didn't want to expose anybody to any germs I could possibly have, and I just felt bad, and I'm thinking this is going to be a situation where I'm going to be with a lot of people, and you hope that everybody's going to be positive and everything, and I'm going to be feeling like crap. So I decided to not go. So sadly, I missed seeing some of my new friends that I met in the last month or two. But anyway, so didn't do that, but did my normal singing. I've already sung in a couple of funeral masses since I've been back. My choir director, Jane, is very happy that I'm back, and I'm very happy to be back as well with my friends and singing with all my colleagues. And that's it. That's pretty much everything that I've been doing. So let's see. Who would like to go next? AJ, I think. Oh, no, AJ.
AJ,
You held up your finger. So, nope. Yeah, sorry.
Let's see. How long has it been since I've actually successfully been on the show? Has it been 2 weeks?
Successfully? I don't think ever.
Well, okay, fair point. I know we tried last week, and just timing didn't work, and technical difficulties and everything else. Been doing a good bit of flying. Got our 182 back from the club with a fantastic upgrade, all glass panel, new autopilot, all the modern bells and whistles, as they say. So that's been fantastic to fly. Other than that, just kind of normal daily stuff. Existing. My trainee, my first trainee at work successfully passed her certification today. So she sat next to a representative from the FAA and worked a whole scenario and came out with flying colors. So I'm going to call that a win. So congratulations, Tango Lima.
Good job.
Peter says my internet in the hangar isn't up to snuff. You guys have?
Oh, that's okay.
Issues?
It's just the video
you're just
part
a little
of it.
jerky. That's all.
Yeah, the audio part is fine.
No, that's how I am. That's just me.
Audio's perfect.
Yeah, I hardly even noticed. But yeah, he's right. The video is a little bit affected, but that's okay. As long as we're getting good audio from you, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right, very good.
Didn't you have a video
right.
of some skating, AJ?
No recollection.
No.
Why? Did you hit your head or something? Falling? Rollerblading?
Well, you should have worn a helmet. Man.
I have a weird bump on my head. I don't know where that came from. No, I was a little stressed. Not stressed, but a little rushed for time. So I did not have a chance to load anything onto my computer. So it's all stuck here on my heathen Android device.
Wait a minute. I thought Nick, you were going to play something.
Oh, did you have a video?
Oh, I've got some video for my bit, but I'm not on
Yeah, but
yet.
I thought you did.
Oh, I did. Actually, I've got that. I could.
Yeah,
do you want
that's
me
what
to
I'm
just
thinking.
quickly load it up?
I think you should.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, well, this will all be edited out of the.
Let me find
audio
it
podcast.
again.
Peter
What
says
was it?
congrats to
What-
the
what
instructor
did
as
I-
well. Yeah.
Thank you.
What did I call it? AJ Skates. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'll let you do the commentary, AJ.
Does it require commentary? I think the video speaks for itself.
Got some reds there.
Nice.
Very good.
My children were thoroughly convinced that I was going to injure myself quite severely.
Well,
but
you proved
proud of
them
myself.
wrong. Yeah.
Just over 20 years since the last time I did that. So
just for those of you who aren't going to have the chance to see the video, that was AJ on his rollerblades in his driveway, making a little lap around
rollerblade brand rollerblades. No less.
Oh, is that a important thing?
Is.
I don't.
It's quite a fine brand of inline skates.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're living in the wrong place. Shouldn't you be going up and down the beach in LA? Ventura.
I would fit right in. Then, yeah.
You would.
Yeah.
You're wearing entirely too many clothes, though, in that video.
There is that. This is a true statement.
Yeah. True.
I still have my fluorescent orange. Anyway.
Fluorescent orange.
What?
What
break it up.
Banana sling or whatever.
Hammock. Hammock is the word you're looking for.
Banana hammock.
Hammock.
That is the word I was looking for. Yes. Nice.
You're budgie smugglers. Okay.
There you go. Yes.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Fair enough.
Excellent. All right, Captain Nick.
Yeah. Okay. I shall put this and talk over the top of it, because the bowling season is over, but not all the bowling entertainment is over, because you wouldn't believe it. This is primarily a bowling event going on here, because one of my great buddies in the bowling club decided to tie the knot with his long-term partner, and she's from Nigeria, so they're up in a lovely hotel not far from where I live. They had a traditional Nigerian wedding. So there's poor Gary there in his purple. I think the couple are dressed in purple and everyone else was in orange or something. Anyway, they're a lovely couple. Congratulations to my mate Gary. We play together a lot, and he is a lovely bloke. And his lovely bride, Whitney, is a gorgeous lady as well. So that was great fun. Anyway, I'd never been to a traditional wedding of that style, so that was fun. And then
I love
on the theme
very
of
colorful traditional. I'm sorry to interrupt you. The traditional colorful garb that everybody was wearing, or almost everybody there.
Absolutely, very impressive, including, I have to say, the parents of the groom, who an elderly couple, looking pretty bemused as to what was going on around them. I found that quite funny. Anyway, all the bowling club thought it was great, and we had a great.
You know,
time.
when I imagine you out there bowling, Nick, I'd never pictured that at all. You know,
neither had I. You know, we didn't know what to expect when we went there, but I was thoroughly impressed.
I love it.
And I have to say, it was the night when Storm Anna went through, so it was blowing. We were in a tent in the grounds of this hotel, and it was blowing sort of 50 knots, and the rain was coming down in sheets, but the tent stayed, intact, and that was very, very well done in the end. Poor Jilly had to, because I'd had a few beers, poor Jilly had to drive home, and there were bits of tree flying around, and it was all getting very exciting. Anyway, slightly less exciting, but equally funny, was my backyard. Now, in my backyard, I've got a robot mower. And because I'm British, he has a flag on the back. Also in my backyard, I have some critters that come around, some in particular foxes. And you can see my mower is stuck. He's out there in the middle of the night, and there's a fox attacking my mower. And they had a ball with it. And next morning, we discovered that they'd pinched the flag off the back of my robot mower. It had gone.
Oh.
And then we found it the next day full of tooth marks and missing of junk in one of the flower beds. So there you go. There's Blot back with a new flag now. He's proudly showing. So I was going, boy, oh boy, we got some vicious critters in our garden, and thank the Lord that he survived. Young Blot the second. He's my second of that series. Anyway, I promised my wife in my retirement I'd keep the lawn mowed, which I do, of course, with Blot, who goes around doing my mowing for me. He's very good.
Nice. You're good at delegation.
Indeed, that's what it's all about. And then I guess it's on to cover art. Now, last show, we had some really good ideas, actually. Not Funyun, but Trunnion, fatigue crap, fire in my seat, pardon me, blithering hosts, useless aviation podcast. I thought that was a bit rude. We didn't really want to put that. But the one that one was blithering old Fockers. So there we got a representation of a Fokker flying around. I don't think that Fokker's a Messerschmitt. I think it actually is a Fokker. But there we go. Blithering old Fockers.
Let's just make sure that everybody understands that doesn't see the word written out. We were saying F-O-K-K-E-R.
That's the German spelling of Fokker. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, is it actually it's
triplane?
Yeah, indeed. Yes, Fokker triplane. I don't know. Is it a Fokker? The triplane? Oh well, whatever.
The DR3.
I didn't. People forget that Fokkers are actually a Dutch company. Anyway, you can see piloting the triplane, where the Baron usually sits, is our jackass.
And for those who can't see the
jackass.
picture, he is saying jackass.
Yes, Jackass
Which is a
Penguin is piloting the Fokker, and on the side of the fuselage, the show number 678. That was, and there you go. There's the top of the wings, because our logo takes pride of place where normally you get something like an Iron Cross or a German cross there, but we've got our logo instead. So that was good fun.
That airplane seems to have seen a bit of action there. Fabric looks a little worse for the wear.
Well, you know, when you've got a penguin flying it around, anything could happen, I suppose. Yeah, they're not very good pilots.
Well, go back to that, Liz, that last slide, please. It looks like maybe they were involved in a similar taxiway incident.
Oh, very much
on the
so.
right wing. Looks like there was a disconnected wing support.
Oh, yeah. The guy wire.
Oh, yeah, they've broken a spar there. Penguins are not good flyers, are they?
Apparently not.
No.
Okay.
There you go. Particularly
Very good.
Jackasses.
Loved it.
Or the African penguin is their other name, by the way, in case you're wondering. So thank you very much indeed for all those good ideas. Yes. And hopefully we'll come up with something for this show.
I'm sure we will. It'll be very entertaining, I'm sure, as well.
There you go.
All right. Oh, coffee fund. All right. Then I should... Coffee fund. Yeah.
Johnny, how much more coffee?
No thanks.
I love coffee, I love tea, I love the APG community. Coffee and tea and the Java and me. A cup.
Oh, yeah. The APG Coffee Fund is your way to support our show financially if you have the financial resources to do that. As we usually warn you, if you need your money for like shelter, food, clothing, flying lessons, so don't spend it on us. But if you got something burning a hole in your pocket and you want to contribute to our show, you're more than welcome to. A couple different ways you can do that. One is the APG Coffee Fund Classic method. And as per usual, Dr. Mazuz gives us a nice generous donation every month using the Coffee Fund Classic mechanism. Thank you very much, Dr. Mazuz, and he's here with us today in the chat room. And let's see, the other way that you can support us is to become a patron of our show at patreon.com. And that's basically you pledge a certain amount per episode. You can designate how much, maximum. Don't worry, we're not going to do any more than 4 or 5 of these things per month. But anyway, if you want to support us, a couple different ways to do that. You can find out more about how to do that by heading over to airlinepilotguy.com/coffee. You'll be glad you did. We will too.
Hey, good job.
Okay.
Liz,
Yeah.
I'm not getting Liz.
You're not?
Is Liz? Are you transmitting on a private channel, Liz?
No, she's transmitting. Are you hearing it, AJ? Are you hearing Liz?
I'm not able to log in at all.
Oh, you know why? Because I misguessed on who might need that 5th slot, and I guess I was betting that Dr. Steph was going to get here before you. So
See how it is. Just go to the bottom of the list. Miss one show.
Hey, I've done my time at the bottom of the list.
Hang on, AJ. We're going to make you happy.
Oh.
Well,
should we turn the cameras off? Or?
All right. Now give her a try.
Boom, boom, boom. Invalid
It takes
username or password.
Oh, great. Try it again.
Haha. Great
You got
success.
in? Okay. Yeah, we just hadn't quite taken. Yeah. All right. Well, we don't hear you, Nick, on Unity, nor do you hear us. Nope, I think he's muted on the
All right,
StreamYard.
worked earlier. Never mind.
Yeah, it did. We actually did a run through on this before we started recording. No, we're not hearing you, Ben.
Oh well, doesn't matter.
All right. So what she was saying, let me give you the message. She was thinking that we should do the plain tale to start off with. And then after that's over with, maybe Dr. Steph will be here with us and she can help us cover the feedback.
Good idea.
All right. Very good. So let me go over here to the plain tale. And then Liz, if you're ready. Okay, she said she's ready. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this week's installment of the Old Pilot's Plain Tales. Take it away, Old Pilot.
The Old Pilot's Plain Tales. Fast jets on the front line. I'm delighted to be here with Alan Munro to discuss his new book, Fast Jets on the Front Line. Mainly because it's a great read, but also because it will be like walking down memory lane for me, because we share so much in common. We both started our flying careers in the Air Cadets on gliders. We were both awarded flying scholarships at the same little airfield, Fair Oaks, before starting our careers in the Royal Air Force. We flew some of the same jet fighters, the Hunter, the Phantom and the Tornado, and served at many of the same bases. We were both RAF flying instructors, and we concluded our flying days in the civvy world, flying the most advanced airliners of the time. We've even shared some navigators. Now, before we delve into some of the fascinating parts of your book, I wonder if you could set the scene by giving us a little condensed version of your wonderful flying career.
Career, it was more of a work's progress. Starting, as you rightly say, with gliders in 1957 at Hornchurch.
After
Then
that?
170 hours on London University Air Squadron, flying the Chipmunk at White Waltham, and then into the Air Force at Acklington Valley. And we're into the book now where my legs were too long. So I got my lightning posting. Went down to see the doc because I had a cold, and you had to do that in those days. And he filled in a little form that says, no flying 48 hours. And then he said, look at your legs. He said, I don't think you'll ever get in a lightning. And he got his measure out. And he said, not a bloody chance. And he filled in a second form saying, can't fly lightnings. And my boss went absolutely spare. And before the day was out, I was posted to Javelins.
You you had an entire tour flying that amazing aeroplane.
It was.
And what, not only that, you did it out in the Far East.
Yes.
Oh, tell me what that was like.
Hot. Well, you see, this is where the book goes live, really. And I've described what happened when myself and my navigator were sort of coming up to what was called operational. And the flight commander says, who was a real gentleman, Jim, had a polo pony and all the rest of it. And he said, well, look, we were supposed to give you a checkout flight and a briefing, but right now we need a crew on QRA. So you know what to do. You put your life jacket over that chair. You could go and set the aircraft up, which was just outside, and then hang around. So we did all that, and we were hanging around. So we're on. Was it? I think it was 10 minutes. 5 minutes it might have been. And all of a sudden the tannoy went, and we were scrambled. And we did exactly as briefed, and we went roaring off down this fast access track that had been built for the Lightning. And we intercepted a Canberra halfway up the Malacca Straits, who was flying in without a flight plan. And I never did find out what he'd been up to, and he wouldn't tell me. And so we did all that, landed, taxied back in. And there's my flight commander saying, well, didn't mean to rush you quite like that. He said, but you were a little bit slow getting out to the aeroplane, but you made up for it on the corners. And he said, here are your operational badges, and I'll brief you later. And we never got the briefing. And the boss came in, and he just stared in amazement, and shook his head and went back to his office. And that's how we became operational. But it was a great joke that because entropy being what it is, if you put the burner in on the runway, you lost 3% power.
Well, I never.
Yeah, and that was a great big joke.
I love it.
Yeah, but then you see that the Javelin had an IAS limit that was quite low. It was a bit under 600 knots, and the air brakes were limited to half travel, even before you got there, because you had all the power you needed and surplus.
But they had very powerful air brakes, from what I understand.
They were the size of a door.
Wow.
And there were 4 of them. And I remember at Lucas, we were demonstrated coming in at 45,000 feet. And 3 miles from the end of the runway, air brakes go, and braking into the circuit at 1,000 feet.
You got rid of 40,000 feet in like 3 miles.
Now, you remember the Tornado, if you did a 0.9 descent with the wings in the 65, it was the same sort of descent.
Wow.
You had to think really hard about pulling out, didn't you?
Oh, indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of room.
This one time, we did a practice diversion into Penang Airport, and there was a Thai Airways Caravelle discharging all these little lovelies, and we sort of went by like that. And we got to the end, and Nav says, God, look at the speed. And it was the absolute critical speed for getting into this superstore.
Oh.
And there was a 100-foot cliff at the end of the runway. And they said, oh, here we go. And I had enough control, just ease the nose down, then get the 100-foot dive, just put another 10 knots on, and we were able to accelerate away. But
Great
then you just
story.
laughed about it. Ha, ha, ha.
You mentioned that if you got into a spin, there was a possibility that if you ejected the navigator, the aircraft might recover.
That is absolutely true.
Ah.
Yeah.
Did the navs volunteer for
No,
this?
they were pretty pissed off.
Let me just take you back to the jungle, because you mentioned in your book you did a jungle survival course.
Brilliant.
And you talk about a treescape. Now, I flew many hours over the Malaysian jungle, and it never occurred to me that I might get hung up in a tree, unable to get down.
Yeah.
So what was this treescape device?
It looked like a canvas parcel about so big. And you had big buttons, big romper buttons stitched onto your flying suit with a big canvas patch. And this thing buttoned on. So the last thing you did before you put on your life jacket was button up your T-scape. And then you put the life jacket on over that. Now, you unzipped it. And there was an easy fastening, to wind a rope around a branch, should you land up in the tree canopy. And then there was a clutch and a sort of aluminium device with a handle. And you let yourself down a bit at a time. And it was 200 feet long.
Good Lord.
And we used to practice this thing. The ground crew would bring round some aircraft steps for transport aircraft steps, which were the highest thing they could find. And you attach yourself to this and let yourself down. And it worked very, very well. But the possibility of being stuck up a tree was very real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have now, when it came time for you to move on, you chose to volunteer for Central Flying School as a flying instructor. What on earth motivated you to do that?
Something I'd always wanted to do. I can't explain it. It was madness. But I didn't know that. I didn't realize people had to be coerced with a shotgun to go to CFS.
Well, yes.
I thought it was a really special place to be, but it might have been subconsciously because of my father.
Ah.
Well, he killed himself as a QFI.
Oh, right. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I'll tell you the tale for what it's worth, that he was instructing on the Miles Master.
Mm.
A lot of Polish students, massive intensity. And their big breakout was Wings for Victory, when a town would be selected and the good ladies would go around with the collecting tin saying, let's buy a Spitfire. And he drew Bangor in North Wales. And all he had to do was beat shit out of the town for half an hour in this Miles Master and roar up and down the high street. And what they reckoned after was that the master had a modification put in because so many were tipping up on their nose that if it was upside down with the gear down, then the generator would earth and the fuel would cut off and the fire extinguisher would go off. And they reckoned that he probably had a cracked door, which you wouldn't see because of the sun azimuth. And he did a slow roll down Barmouth High Street and everything cut. And he went straight into the beach, bang.
Oh, Lord.
So I don't know whether that was a driver, but I suppose subconsciously it might have been.
Oh, yeah. But the posting gods seem to have looked down on you very favourably and managed to get you out. And you ended up flying the Harrier. How on earth did that happen?
Because they posted me to Lightnings again. And I said to him, look, I've got to come clean with you. I can't fit in a Lightning. What am I going to do? And he said, well, the first thing you've got to do is get off the training command books. Because if you spill the beans now, you'll get another posting inside training command. He said, get onto the strike command books. That's the first thing. So I let this doctor at Chivenna discover my long legs. And said, you can't fly the Lightning. And oh dear, what do you want to fly? Phantom. And it was just the time of the Spey engines collapsing. And Phantom OCU was closed. And a Harrier turned up outside. And I was talking to the pilot And I said, "Is there loads of room in a Harrier?" "Oh, stacks of room." And I said, "Right, can I fly Harriers, please?" "Yes, you can." But it all went wrong because I was on the squadron that did the short courses, so I never ever got any proper ground attack training.
Well, I quite understand that, but your time on the Harrier filled a very neat gap that allowed the Phantom
Yeah, but
to
I
recover.
never quite caught up. I did about 150 hours on the Harrier, and I was posted to a squadron that I found had got its own problems. It had shifted 2 bosses, and they were hard as nails. And I was struggling with the ground attack all the time because I just didn't understand the disciplines. I'd never been taught. And in the end, I remember going onto the range at Dechiwamanu, and it was Sneb first, and I fired a rocket and I was the only guy who got a direct hit. And I was so pleased I broke into the circuit wrong way. That was the particular day they changed the circuit direction. And the boss said, "Sorry, mate, that was your last chance."
Oh.
And where do you want to go now? "I want to go to the Phantom." And I eventually got there.
Brilliant. Brilliant. You did the OCU and ended up on 29 Squadron, which you describe as rough but happy. I'm guessing you had a good time there.
It was a brilliant squadron. Absolutely brilliant. It was rough as a bag of nails. You wouldn't believe. And yet we got the job done.
Excellent. Yeah.
It was helped by, we had a Canadian exchange crew, and I got crewed with the navigator. And the Canadians disrupted every staff meeting on a Friday with opening up a gin and tonic mine on the coffee bar. and on one of them, the boss gave a complete briefing for the week ahead, and nobody said a word. And he said, "Ryan, any questions?" And said, "Well, yes, that was actually what we did this week. What are we doing next week?"
Oh, I love it.
Does that give you an idea of what the squadron was like?
Yeah. Well, I must admit, because I was sort of arriving in the Air Force at the time, and I was on 43, and we used to look down a bit on 29 Squadron. Because
absolutely right. We were absolute shy.
Well,
and we loved it. And we found our natural partners in 57 Squadron, the tanker squadron. And the 3 tanker squadrons at the time were as different as could be. And 57 were rough as old boots, same as we were. And they were our natural friends. And we kept meeting up with them. And we had a fantastic rapport.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, this was the time our careers actually intersected. As you mentioned, reinforcing 43 Squadron at Kinloss.
Yeah.
We were up there holding Northern QRA because our runway was being torn up. And it was a period I well remember. So how long did you spend up there?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. I must have been back with my lovely wife in our married quarter at Lucas because I don't remember ever seeing you.
We were saying earlier that it's quite incredible that we had such a parallel career. And we kept sort of passing each other.
Like ships in the night.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
But 43 was amazing because my briefing for flying the FG1 was, and don't forget, it hasn't got a battery. Oh, yeah, okay, fine, thank you.
Now, I read you were lucky enough to go to RAF Lucca on the island of Malta for your annual gunnery practice camp.
We did that once.
But the tragedy of the Vulcan crash that you witnessed notwithstanding, I bet it was a great place to spend a few weeks.
Yeah, it was. It was phenomenal. I preferred it to Cyprus.
Oh, really?
But the Vulcan, I've got my own ideas, which are slightly different from the Board of Inquiries.
Well, perhaps you ought to explain what you saw, what happened.
Before we went, we were paired up, you see, to do a pair, go off as a pair and join a specific tanker at half-hour intervals. Another tanker, another pair, and it was all, what do you call it, fallback, so if a Phantom went unserviceable, somebody from the next pair moved up. And I was left with a guy who was subsequently my flight commander, and he knew Malta very, very well from the Lightning. And he reminded me that since the RAF had built a massive new hangar, when the wind was a particular direction, the hangar could cause a wind shear of 40 knots.
Oh, wow. That's a
And
lot.
that is massive.
Yeah.
And you're halfway around finals and you lose 40 knots. And that's exactly what happened. And I put 40 knots on the landing speed, thinking this is ridiculous. We're up 220, something like that.
Yeah.
Coming around the corner. Ridiculous speed. And sure enough, wallop, 40 knots gone off the ASI. And that's interesting, you see. So just as we were signing in, somebody said, look at that. And I looked through the door of the line hut, and there was a Vulcan bogey with no Vulcan. And this thing crashed onto the ground and bounced off. So we all went rushing out, and I grabbed my camera. And we watched this Vulcan join the circuit with flames belching out of the wing. And what we didn't know was that our tanker had landed shortly after us, and the captain had grabbed his headset, gone rushing back to the tanker, thrown the battery on, and plugged in and said, Vulcan in the circuit, get out, you're on fire. And that was the first they knew, because the RAF was handing over to Maltese. So the Maltese had the tower, and the RAF had the radar room, and he was still on radar frequency. And the Victor captain worked all this out as he was running back. And so he gave the broadcast on the most likely radar frequency. And he was right. But the guys in the tower just didn't know what to do. They'd never been briefed and never covered this situation. And they hadn't got access to the RAF frequencies. Absolute shambles. And the result was, you see, they were carrying 2 crew chiefs, and they couldn't abandon because the pilots saw them trying to get out. And they knew they hadn't, and the pilots never ejected. And when it finally blew up, we saw these 2 ejection seats just thrown out of the fireball. And they worked, and 2 parachutes coming down. And we thought, this is terrible. But you see, going back to the cause, I'm absolutely convinced that these guys hadn't put on the 40 knots for mother. Oh. And they suddenly lost 40 knots in the final stages of the approach and fell out of the sky.
Yeah, that's
terrible. To me, that is so obvious and so basic that I'm not sure that was what the final conclusion was. Maybe it was. I can't remember now.
My thanks to Alan for all his wonderful stories, and we'll catch up with him again on another Plain Tale.
Well, I, for one, cannot wait. Wow, what a treasure of information and stories and classic traditional jets.
He's real old school. I mean, he was in about 10 years before me. So he was in the Air Force when we had a huge Air Force, and spread out across the globe. Things are a lot different now. But his stories are fantastic. I love them. He's a very pleasant chap to spend an afternoon with as well. Anyway, I'll work through the rest of that interview and see if we can get another tale out of it. Otherwise, well, are you enjoying that food there, Jeff?
I am. I'm enjoying some Parmesan, freshly shaved Parmesan cheese. Thank you very much. Was I making too much noise with it? Sorry.
It's just making me feel hungry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do you shave a Parmesan?
With a razor.
Very careful.
Hot towels and a razor.
My favorite little anecdotal. Well, there are so many in that interview. That part 1, I guess. But the talking about the ejecting the navigator if you ever get into a spin. I forgot what airplane that was, but
that was the Javelin. Yeah,
the Javelin, and I think you asked a great question, like, what did they think about this? And they said, well, they were pissed.
Yes, indeed, I'm sure they were. Yeah, but no, I think there's some stories of that happening in various aircraft actually, because someone ejects, it shifts the center of gravity, and the aircraft breaks out of the spin. So
that's actually the checklist item for like if you get into a spin, the first step is to eject the navigator.
Yeah. Perfect.
Anyway.
Brilliant. Anyway, thanks very much for
enjoyable.
that, Alan. And yeah, I shall look for some more stories.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, I think it's time for some feedback.
Captain, incoming message.
Okay. First item is going to be some video feedback, actually, this is from Sam Bolog, with whom we enjoyed celebrating his birthday in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles APG meetup at the Proud Bird. And he sent this in. Aaron Rhines on Instagram, quote, "Cockpit doors are changing soon." And he says, "Is this true?" And he gives us a link to an Instagram.com reel. And let's play this.
Cockpit doors will soon look like this. Airlines in the US now just have 1 year to meet the FAA's new safety standard. This secondary door, called a secondary barrier, will provide security in the brief moments where the main cockpit door has to be opened, such as when the pilots use the bathroom. So as you probably guessed, this would block access to the galley or bathroom for passengers when in use. Therefore, it would only be in use when the cockpit door is open, not during the whole flight. So get ready for this to be the norm, in the US at least. Cockpit door...
Okay. So... that rule, I believe, first of all, to answer your question, Sam, yes, this is true. And I believe it is a final rule that was passed way back in 2023. And I think it only affected new aircraft manufacturing, not, going back into, what do you call it, retrofitting all the airliners out there with these secondary barriers. Although I think there are some airlines out there that have on their own done it voluntarily because they thought, that's kind of a good idea. Yeah. So that's all I know about that. I mean, does anybody else here on the crew know anything more about this secondary barrier requirement? No?
No, as far as I know, nothing has changed in Europe, but yeah.
We already have 2 cockpit doors on the airplanes that I fly, but neither one of them will stay shut.
Well, I think that's a different problem. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue on with this. I know this is video rich, this feedback here. This is from our good friend and financial supporter via the Coffee Fund, Dr. Mazouz Karim. And this is feedback for Captain Nick. And I'm thinking, what could this possibly mean if this is specifically for Captain Nick? And so he writes, "I thought the story was perfect for Captain Nick. Not only involves a balloon, but also a dog lover coming to the rescue. Talons, Douglas. Best wishes, Mazouz." And so now we'll play a little bit of this video to see what's going on here. Hot air balloon makes emergency landing on Bower Street in August of 2025. So a couple months ago. Yeah, we've had it for a while. It's a very pretty balloon. Hitting things, obviously. Oh, that's the gas burner.
So he hadn't run out of gas?
No.
What's going to be my next question? There's quite literally 1 control on a balloon, right? Well, 2,
Yep.
I guess, if you count the hole in the top.
Yes.
Okay, they're trying to add just enough gas
I mean,
to have a nice gentle
It's a
landing.
very narrow gap to land that in.
It looks like he's adding just enough gas to get to the power lines.
Yes.
I think you're right.
That's
Yeah.
what it worries me. I hope their telephone lines are not 240 volt lines.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with that landing.
He stuck it.
Yeah, he did.
Very impressive.
Absolutely.
Nick would say that that's an oxymoron, Liz. Balloon
Well, it
pilot.
looks more like a balloon to me, but there's a big hole in the top. No wonder it crashed.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's your problem.
I'm not sure. Where did we find out about the dog?
Oh, the guy holding the rope was a dog walker. He'd be out walking his dog when apparently this bloke threw in the rope and said, "Can I go to Bower Street? Can you pull me to Bower Street, please?"
Okay.
Wait, so that was an assisted landing? Okay, I'm less impressed now.
Well, I mean, the bloke with the rope made sure they didn't land on any cars, I guess. But I mean, I don't understand. If there wasn't a lot of wind, why didn't he just climb up to altitude? Because that's one thing you can do on a balloon, can't you? Just climb or go down, and where the wind would be stronger and it'd get blown away from the city. But I don't know.
And back to
Maybe
the
that's
headline.
where you wanted to land.
Is that really a crash landing?
It didn't look like a crash
no, I
landing
thought
to
it
me.
was a very gentle landing. Really,
It was like a typical balloon landing, from what I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, most balloon landings end up with everyone on their side. As it gets
Tumbling out of the
towards
basket down the hill.
Yeah, gets dragged along the ground through the undergrowth, through brambles and bushes and, snakes and, all sorts of dreadful things, and people get impaled and, I don't know, looks a complete shambles. But this one wasn't bad, was it?
Well, I think you owe Dr. Kareem a thank you for
Thank you, Dr.
pointing us-
Kareem, for the lovely video of the balloon crashing.
There you go. I'm sure he appreciates it. Okay.
I'm sure. Thank you,
we should move on then to some more feedback, some more video feedback. This from, I believe George is one of our Canadian APG community members. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Maybe
no,
not.
another Canadian.
Yeah, another Canadian. And he sent in this feedback. Most airlines wrote off the Boeing 717 as a failure. Boeing canceled it. Operators abandoned it. The market decided this orphan jet had no future. But Delta did the unthinkable. They checked out Captain Jeff Nielsen to fly the 717. No, that's not. That is the unthinkable part of it. No, but Delta did the unthinkable. Instead of moving on, they doubled down, making the 717 the backbone of their short-haul network. A move so baffling that rivals call it madness until it started. Oh, I'm sorry. George is from Brunswick, Maryland, not Canada. Okay. I don't know
Close
why I
enough.
thought- Yeah. Somewhere up north. All right. So anyway, he gave us a... okay. So we're going to play a little bit of it, not the entire thing. I forgot exactly how long this video is, but...
It's a lengthy video. I've seen it.
It is,
It's
okay.
a great video, though. Definitely
It is a
recommend
good video.
Anybody
Yeah.
interested in the history of it, go check it out.
Absolutely. So let's just play a little snippet of it just to kind of give you a little taste. Okay. So, ready?
Here's what doesn't make sense. Most airlines abandoned the Boeing 717 years ago. Boeing stopped caring about it. Even the used market dried up. Yet, Delta, the world's largest airline, went all in. Not just keeping their 717s, making them the backbone of their short-haul network. Why would the industry's most sophisticated operator stake so much on a jet everyone else rejected? This isn't nostalgia, it's not stubbornness. There's something Delta discovered that everyone else missed. A calculated gamble that's been paying off for over a decade. Think about it. Hawaiian Airlines is the only other major operator left. Everyone else, they've moved on to shinier, newer jets. For them, the 717 is aviation's equivalent of a flip phone. Outdated, unwanted, irrelevant. So, what secret did Delta uncover? Why does this forgotten jet still anchor their network? And how much longer can this contrarian strategy actually work?
Not much longer, because Captain Jeff is now retired and can no longer fly the 717.
No
and
one
so
else
they
is
decided-
qualified.
Nobody else is really qualified.
And
or
for
old enough.
dating the airplane, one of the airplanes pictured in that video had TWA livery on it. So
Oh, yeah.
it's
absolutely.
been gone for a little while.
Yeah, well, I think the last one was actually made came rolling off the line 2006, I believe. and started production in 95, I think, or 96, whatever. It was actually the McDonnell Douglas MD-95, but when Boeing basically bought and took over McDonnell Douglas, they decided to slap their name plate on it. And I don't think they ever planned for this airplane to be, continuously manufactured, and they kind of wrote it off, I think, even before they bought McDonnell Douglas. But Peter says, how did the 717 compare to the DC-9? Well, interestingly, the 717, I've flown a couple of variants of the DC-9, the DC-9 actually, the DC-9-88, which is the MD-88 and the MD-90, and then also the 717. The Boeing 717 is almost completely identical as far as dimensions as the DC-9-30 series. Within inches in almost every way that you can measure it on the exterior of the aircraft anyway. Of course, it had nicer engines, had Rolls-Royce, a joint effort between Rolls-Royce and BMW, I believe. The BR700, I think, is the engine designation for the thing. Very, very good, solid, strong, reliable engines on the aircraft. And of course, they put a whole new suite of avionics, so it's all modern screen avionics with it's all glass, and of course the combined flight display, and instead of the old 6-pack, which is most of my career, I flew the standard traditional kind of instrument package, and this had the newer layout for the more modern jets, and it had a different box, different flight management system on it as well, very similar to the Airbus boxes. So yeah, it was a great airplane, but in many ways very, very similar to the DC-930. Captain Cruz says, isn't it an MD-87 with MD-90 engines? No. Both the MD-87, 88, MD-90 were all much longer aircraft. This is a much shorter fuselage carrying fewer passengers. The MD-90, let's see, the 88 and 90, I think we carried somewhere between 150, 160 passengers. The Boeing 717, at least the way Delta flies it, is 110, I believe, in a 3-class configuration. And yeah, so no, it's not an 87 with 90 engines at all. The 90 had a International Aero Engines 2500, the power plant that powers many of the Airbus A320s. And that was also a good engine, but it wasn't, Rolls-Royce wasn't part of it. It's a completely different engine. So yeah, it was a good airplane. Very much, I've never flown a business jet, but I would imagine that flying a business jet would be very similar to the way that this airplane handled. It was very responsive, and great jet to fly. Very reliable. Yeah, never had any
So
issues
what
with
was the business decision that Delta took to continue flying it that made so much sense?
In the video they'll definitely, they lay it out very well in the video, but basically it's that combination of mainline kind of non-regional jet kind of reliability kind of thing. It's more of like mainline big airplane, beefy airplane kind of structure and reliability, and the number of passengers that it carried was just like fit in this little window that was, or the niche, or if you're French, or niche if you're not, of the market, where the regional jets didn't carry as many passengers as this, and most of the mainline airliners flew a lot more passengers. So this just fit the market perfectly, and especially the short to medium range markets. And that's why Hawaiian Air flew. I think they're still flying, aren't they? I think Hawaiian's still flying the 717, maybe not. You're right, Liz, we do, the APG crew needs to fly to Hawaii to kind of investigate to see
Check
if
it
there are
out.
actually-
Just see if there are any left.
Yes, but because
Good
of that
idea.
inter-island kind of market, this was again another perfect jet for that, as far as the number of passengers. And it's not the most economical operating jet compared to some of the modern airplanes out there, but as far
Well,
as
when
the
you're flying all these short legs, it doesn't make quite as much difference, does it?
Exactly.
It's not like you've got to go half around the world and still make a profit.
Exactly. Yeah, that little angry puppy was kind of a fun airplane to fly. And we call it, many of us called it the angry puppy because a lot of people called the MD, Mad Dog, the MD series of aircraft. We called it the Mad Dog. So the Boeing 717, we called it the Boeing 717. Oh, Captain Cruz, I don't know. Do we trust him to? No, we still need to go and investigate. But he says that Hawaiian is still flying the 717. I thought so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much, George, for sending in that video. And again, we'll have this in the show notes for all of you out there to take a look at it. I think it's definitely worth watching. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we definitely want to do that. Okay. Let me do one thing to set this up. Okay. Where is my music app? Okay. All right. We have this feedback from one of our most important airline pilot guy, APG community members, Tanya Wyman in New York City. And she's actually here with us in our live audience as we record the show today. Now, I don't know, am I allowed to read this, Liz? Because she addressed it to you, not anybody else. Oh, thank you. Okay. Hi, Liz. Attached is a photo from my meetup with friend of the show, Captain Ian Palmer, and a short audio feedback. Sadly, only me, but hopefully I'll get Ian on the mic as well if we have a chance to meet up again. All the best, Tanya. Okay, so she sent us this audio feedback, which is very, very good. Is that music a little bit too loud? Do I need to turn down the volume a little bit? Okay. Couldn't tell. But, and you'll understand why I'm playing this music in the background here as soon as we start hearing from the lovely Tanya.
Hello, APG crew and community. This is Tanya in New York City. Long time no feedback, but I did want to send in a quick audio feedback since just recently I met up for the first time with friend of the show, Captain Ian Palmer, who's our favorite active Acme Red pilot. Of course, our favorite retired Acme Red pilot is our own Captain Nick. Ian was Nick's first officer several times, and he's also a professional drummer. So when Nick interviewed Ian for Airline Pilot Guy in 2020, we started communicating since he had, at that time, of course, it was coronavirus, so we were all locked down. So he was doing some Facebook Lives on his Facebook page, just drumming and chatting, and built up kind of a really nice community there. So, like I said, we had been in touch since that time, but just never had the opportunity to get together before. So now finally the opportunity presented itself. So we got together at a nice, well, not nice, not fancy, but the food is very good, Spanish restaurant, Boqueria, which was interesting because he actually did his flight training in Spain, in Jerez, I believe is how it's pronounced. It's not how it looks at all. It's Jeres, but it's pronounced Jerez. Correction, it's actually Jerez, and I think it's pronounced more like Jerez. So just to get my accuracy back up to at least 50%. So that is where he had gone to school, so was obviously familiar with that kind of food. And also I found out that he also knows Captain L because they had both flown for Monarch at the same time. So just a little update on what he's been up to. He's now a training captain at Acme Red. And so he splits his time between the sim and flying the A350, training in in both places. And I mentioned that he's also a professional drummer. He actually released his first album last year called About Time, which is instrumental jazz. It's really, really good. You can find it on streaming if you're so inclined, and there's a higher quality version of it for purchase on Bandcamp. And he's currently putting the finishing touches on his second album, also instrumental jazz. And I was privileged enough to get a pre-release version of it, and it is fantastic. I mean, it's so great. I'm so impressed with it. I'm really blown away. So hopefully that'll be out soon, and for anyone that's so inclined, you can check that out when it comes out. So that's just the quick update. We had a really nice time chatting, and totally super nice guy. Really very cool to finally meet up. And hopefully next time, if we do get a chance to get together again, I will promise to make a recording. It was just I didn't want the pressure this time, and it's fiddling around with the devices and such. So that's the update, and all the best to the crew and the community. Take care.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Very nice job on the audio, and the audio that you hear in the background is from that album that Ian Palmer produced, About Time, back in 2024. And we're going to have a link to his webpage, and we're going to turn off that music. It's great music, though, great instrumental jazz. We'll have all that information in our show notes, but that reminds me so much, Captain Nick. I don't know how many years ago it was that you had an interview series with Ian, which was just amazing. You probably want to tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I can't recall the show number that it was on, but Ian has such a fascinating life, and I found him such a sincere and remarkable man to have overcome the challenges of his life. And I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't listened to those, who wants to go back and find that podcast again, the interview with Ian Palmer. But ever since I first met him, our very first introduction, when he very clearly explained his background and the challenges he faced, and he wanted me to be aware of his situation, I really just started to admire him so much. He's got a remarkable strength of character. And he is such a lovely man from a great family because, of course, his uncle was the Palmer in Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the band that we often remember from our time. If you're a bit younger, you may not know of them, but the Fanfare for a Common Man, I think, is one of their most famous tracks.
Great band.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. And they played in the introduction to the Olympic Games, the opening ceremony. He's just a fantastic bloke. And I follow his career now because, of course, he's been promoted to captain, and he now flies the 350 as a training captain. So he's done marvellously well for himself, and very impressed. And I look forward to the chance of bumping into him again. Perhaps, you never know. Speaking of that, I'm actually off to go and meet with our old friend Captain Al and Pilot Pip, and possibly Air Traffic Controller Adam at a curry house later this month. So we're looking to all join up again and have a meal together, which will be fun. I'll try and produce some audio from those boys. But it's really nice to keep touch with old friends.
Ian Palmer is a world-class drummer, and it's all documented on his website, ianpalmer.com. Again, in the show notes. And also, Liz is telling me in the back channel that 424, episode APG 424 was part 1 of the Ian Palmer interviews. Again, we'll have all this information and links in our show notes. Hey, exciting news we have. Dr. Steph joining us.
There's a doctor
Better
in
late
the
than
house.
never.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, speaking of long lost friends, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I forgot what you look like.
Old home
I
week.
know. Yeah. So
What have you been up to quickly before we do any more feedback?
working.
Steph?
It's just all work.
Working?
Work all the time.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's not anything exciting. Although
Well,
I
nothing
just have to make
exciting
it through
coming up.
tomorrow, and then I am
Yeah.
headed to Chicago for the weekend for the Chicago Marathon. So that is
Oh,
exciting. It'll
excellent.
be a very nice break from work. Has been challenging the past couple of weeks, mostly because of a software change that we've undertaken as a practice, and it's it's just a lot.
Were you part of this decision making, Steph?
Like tangentially,
Okay.
yeah.
You're not going to take any blame, huh? Okay.
Well, even if I had said no, it would have happened anyway. So
Wouldn't make any difference.
doesn't make a difference. We're here now.
Yeah.
It's software that I've used for years and years at different points in my career, so I'm quite familiar with it. But that does not hold true across our group. So there's a lot of imagine if you'd only ever used an iPhone for, I don't know, call it 25 years, and then someone hands you an Android and says, well, it does all the same things. Just you
And
gotta
better.
A little
figure
bit
out
differently.
where and how, and kind of get the idea there. So it does all the same things. It's just, the interface is different and the menus look a little different, and the customization aspects are different. So we'll get there. It's all good. Just some longer days and whatnot. But yeah, looking very much forward to heading up to Chicago for the weekend. Looks like the weather's going to be great. Maybe a little on the warm side for running, but I've actually been doing quite a bit of running recently as well. So that's feeling good. So hopefully it's a good weekend of racing. I'm going to see a lot of friends and family and eat some good food. And
Well, speaking of feeling good, we always feel good when you're with us here on the show, Steph. So
I appreciate that.
glad you made it.
Yeah.
You didn't say that when I showed up.
Yeah, there's a reason.
We didn't even recognize you when you showed up.
We love you, AJ. You know we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Could
but
you put your hat back on?
Steph is
I don't actually have one handy, believe it or not. It's a very strange experience for me.
Steph is the proto co-host of the APG, right?
Mm-hmm. That is
she
true.
has the highest seniority of anybody.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Let's continue then on with number 6. Okay. Scrolling backwards a little bit. We have some audio feedback sent in from Joe. He's a longtime listener, and he's updating us on what's happening in his life.
Hi, Captain Jeff, APG crew. My name is Joe. I'm from down under in Australia. I've written in a handful of times over the years. I'm more of a lurker than a contributor. I apologise for that. I'm currently sitting at episode 41 of the APG show. Yes, I'm back in the archives. And in case anyone was interested, that was recorded nearly 13 years ago. My reason for the feedback today is that I'm finally ready to make the plunge into the world of aviation. I'll try to keep this short and sweet. As a child, as a teenager, I was always enamored with aircraft, and I always found myself looking up at the sky whenever something flew overhead. I took a few flight lessons, and then I discovered that I was colorblind. I thought that was it. I thought the dream was over. So I reverted to watching them fly overhead again and playing Flight Simulator. Fast forward a number of years, I joined the Air Force to get as close to planes as I could. With that came, so far, the ultimate opportunity that I've had, which was to ride in the jump seat of a maritime patrol aircraft, a 737 essentially, for a maritime patrol mission, and the landing. It was, hands down, the number one experience I've had in this organisation so far. My final fast forward for this feedback is 2 years from that P8 experience, 2 things happened in my life. 1, I had a rather life-changing family event occur, which has urged me to reconsider what I am doing with my life. And number 2, I finally passed a colour assessment diagnosis, which means that I am permitted to obtain a Class 1 medical and fly commercially, which is super exciting. Now, I'm in the final parts of financially planning out my course of action to begin the flight training without incurring any crippling debt, as well as negotiating a flexible work plan that will allow me to maintain an income while facilitating frequent flying to avoid any skill or learning attrition. If anyone has any advice, words of wisdom, or encouragement, please send them my way. Likewise, if there are any Aussie listeners that would like to chat, meet up, or network, again, I would love the opportunity to do so. Finally, it is incredible to see how far your show has come over the years, and it really proves that persistence pays off. I've listened well into the 200s and 300s of the episodes. I'm probably not up to date, but seeing the growth from where I am currently listening from, episode 40, to where you are now, is incredible. So thank you for all the time you spend producing the content. And I'm sure I'll be in touch soon, as I'll have many questions to pose to the community as I go through my training. So I'll speak to you soon. All the best. Blue skies and tailwinds.
Wow. Great feedback, Joe. Thanks so much for sending that in, and congratulations on
brilliant
this huge
job.
life change of yours.
Taking the plunge.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's so rewarding to hear from people in our community, especially longtime listeners like you. And we are very excited for you, and we really are excited to hear more from you, and you kind of take us along in your journey. And not only can we as co-hosts help answer questions, but our wonderful community is just amazing. The live part of our community here every week with us as we record live, and also the greater community as a whole, all around the world. And yes, we do have listeners in Australia and New Zealand, but many in Australia. In fact, Steph can verify that. She's met many of them on her recent trip down under.
I met one on my trip down under, but I've met
just one.
others actually here in Oshkosh.
Okay, they're just two, actually.
There are like four. No, there's
four.
There's
okay. Well, that's double the amount that I thought. No, I think that there are a lot more than that, actually.
There are.
I think we can definitely think of several, that are close knit part of our community in Australia. So that'd be great if you guys could do an APG/aviation podcast meetup down there. That would be awesome. Would love to hear about that, and maybe eventually one day, head down under myself and be part of one of those great meetups. Episode 40. Wow, 13 years ago. That is. It's pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
We have grown like a fungus. Yeah. It just,
I would say
can't get it off.
One piece of advice for Joe is don't go too far into that whole financial investigation of what you're about to do, because it's just really depressing.
Might get discouraged.
Yeah. Just pay for things as they come along. It's fine. Don't think ahead too much on that part. But definitely send us updates, progress, I'm sure having gone back and listened to all of these shows that have been produced over time, we've had listeners do that. And I think that's directly inspired other folks to take the plunge themselves. And hopefully you can be one who does that for someone else along the way.
And it's especially just starting out, start off writing down notes and stuff in your logbook of your flights, interesting things you saw or things you experienced. Put a little note in your logbook next to that flight, because I've really enjoyed going back, and I didn't do that nearly as much as I should have, but going back and looking at older pages of the logbook and just remembering those flights and people I got to fly with and that kind of stuff is really, really cool. So if you start doing that at the beginning, you'll get a lot of cool memories out of it.
Good advice. All right. Well, as I said, thank you so much for taking the time to record the audio. It's always great to hear the voices of our community members, and it's exciting to hear that we in some small way contributed to this amazing career change of yours. Don't forget to send us more updates.
Something else, Jeff, I'm delighted now that modern medicine is making a pathway for people who were previously would have been diagnosed and never had a chance to become a professional pilot. Now that tests are becoming more specific and people are understanding more about various ailments, color blindness being the one we're currently thinking about. I think it's fantastic that people are finding a way to get around these issues and still pursue their dreams. So good luck with that, old chap.
I actually
really
that
rooting
topic
for
came
you.
up with a patient of mine today who
wow.
I think had it, he was older now, but in his youth wanted to be a pilot. His father had been a pilot, but he was colorblind, and that was the end of that back then. But we actually were talking about how the tests have changed these days, and maybe it'd be worthwhile doing some assessments just to see.
Over the years on this show, we've actually had this same kind of a situation where the Ishihara or Ishikara or whatever test that people were using for decades, they finally realized that, well, that's not the only test that determines whether or not you have whatever it takes to to get over that color blindness speed bump. And we've had a few people over the years actually say, hey, turns out if you find the right doctor and they know about some of these other tests, that what you once thought was a dead end is sometimes just another door opening. And so thank you. Good point, Captain Nick. I meant to mention that and I completely forgot. So maybe people listening right now to this show, this episode, might go, what? I thought that I could never be a pilot because of my color blindness. You should look into these other alternative ways to get tested. So, yeah, that's awesome. All right, we're going to go to number 8, feedback number 8 from Kevin. And the title of his feedback is Air Canada Strike. Hello, APG crew. I have a question regarding pilot crews out of base when the flight attendant strike happened. Being that just about all of Air Canada mainline and Rouge flights were canceled for days, what happened to pilot crew who were out on layover or about to fly back to base? Being that pilots were not the ones striking, does Air Canada have to place all of those crews, which I can imagine is a lot, in hotels? Okay, so do they have to place all those crews? That could be quite a few, a large number of people in hotels, and how would it affect their contractual days off if it fell into those days? I know none of you have worked for Air Canada, probably don't know much about the contract rules, but maybe you have seen similar circumstances at your airlines. As I keep listening to the older episodes, I find myself getting more infected with the syndrome. I currently listen to about 3 episodes a day. Ooh, wow.
Oh,
wow.
What do you do during the day besides listen to our shows? That's like 9 hours of your day.
He no longer has any friends or family. His pets have left.
He was released from his job. Yeah.
Work's not a problem anymore.
Nope.
Wow, 3 episodes a day while I'm at work, plus my 1-hour drive each way, so catching up quick. It's great to hear the introduction of some of the community members, which have been around a long time, and really feels like I'm getting to know them as I listen. Thanks for all you do, keeping me entertained on my long days at work. Thank you. Oh, he's still working. Thank you, and take care. And I think, Captain Nick, you wrote back to him directly. You want to share that with us?
Oh, I certainly did. Yeah, and I reached out to my secret contact within that company, within Air Canada, to try and answer Kevin's questions. So, Kevin, this is what I got back. No names, no pack drill, but they said the company committed to get everyone back to the airport of origin. If the return crew were ready to fly home after the strike deadline, they would operate home. The crew that was away from base after the strike deadline were either dead-headed back on company equipment or on alternate airlines that could accommodate them. They were promised that hotels and expenses would continue, which I think is really good if you're stuck away. I think there are a few glitches where the crew hotel had no capacity beyond the original crew booking date, except that there were situations where the flight attendants were kicked out of the hotel and pilots not. That's pretty dreadful. I'm sure the pilots would have happily shared their bedrooms with the flight attendants. That would normally happen, I would have thought.
We're all very generous
anyway,
in that way.
They usually are. Those Canadians, generous to a T. But alternate accommodation was found. There were a couple of stories where pilots double up. Yeah, you see, I told you so. Where pilots doubled up in hotel rooms to allow flight attendants to share their beds. I'm sorry, to share the empty room. Okay. Pilots would have been treated the same as flight attendants. The airline cancelled all flights for 48 to 72 hours. So after the flight attendants were ordered back to work by the government, it took 5 to 10 days to ramp up the full schedule. The pilots, of course, weren't actually on strike. It was just the flight attendants. But the pilots supported the picket lines and bought pizzas and cookies. Ah, they're such nice guys. And they walked the line, but were not allowed to wear identifying badges and belts, etc. Caveat. This is not to be considered definitively accurate, since the remarks are simply from observation of the circumstances at the time. So thank you very much, my secret contact. Of course, the situation has calmed down a bit now. I gather that the flight attendants have sort of agreed a interim raise of pay and conditions, but it still hasn't been fully settled to my knowledge. But they're all back at work, and I think they've got about a 4-year deal, and started with a wage increase for the flight attendants of 8 to 12%, which is quite reasonable, but not as much as they were hoping for, since they have suffered badly over the years. And I think they're now being paid. They only used to get paid when they flew. So if they came to work and for some reason the flight was cancelled, don't think they got any money at all. So I think that has changed now, and which is, I think, good that happened. Because if you come to work, I think you should get paid something. It's ridiculous, but there you go.
I think that's a fair exchange. Work provided and getting compensated in some way.
Yeah, I'll put my uniform on and I'll come to work. It's not my fault. You haven't provided me with an airplane.
I think it's pretty true. I know that with Air Canada, I think the same kind of situation happens in the airlines here in the U.S., at least the majors that I know of, that if we are experiencing that same situation at Delta, we would have been provided for hotels for as long as necessary, or some type of transportation back to our home bases. So I think that's pretty common practice.
Yeah, there are stories of airlines that actually went bust, and it's amazing how the industry as a whole suddenly comes together and helps people out. Because when an airline suddenly closes its doors, and has enormous bills that haven't been paid, etc., all their equipment normally gets confiscated, where it is round the world. And there are stories of crews being stranded, thousands of miles from their home and with no way of getting home. And other airlines have, made seats available and just flown them home for free, which is fantastic when it happens.
It is. All right, Liz, what do you think? One more? Oh, I don't hear you for some reason. You guys hearing them? Okay. Okay. That is which number? Number 9. All right, we're going to end with this from Marcus Volter, ejection seat introduction. You'll remember we talked about an incident involving an F-15. Somebody was taking some kind of a special ride, not a fully qualified, as far as we know, person in the F-15 back seat, and as they were taxiing out for takeoff, they ejected themselves from the aircraft. And so Marcus decided to contribute a little bit to his experience with flying in an airplane with an ejection seat. He said, "Long time talk, no see. Hope you're doing well. Listen to your discussion about the guy who ejected himself out of the F-15. When I flew in the F-16 with the Thunderbirds, by the way, I didn't have to do any practice around the ejection or the jump or the parachute landing at all. Wow. They just presented a 15-minute PowerPoint about how to do it. Okay.
Totally sufficient training. That's great.
Okay.
Also
It's
speaks
very-
to the likelihood of, or
Yeah,
the
not
probability that that's going to happen. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's quite likely he didn't get a very deep introduction to ejecting. I know that some air forces do it differently. For example, in Germany, you have to practice the landing fall. Wow. Now that's going above and beyond, I think. Actually getting out there and doing the PLFs, parachute landing fall exercise and practice and that kind of thing. But that could really help save some broken bones, if not more. Okay, by the way, this is Marcus again. By the way, after the F-16 in 2019, I am now continuing my military flying career with this L-21B. Okay, Liz is showing the picture that he sent in on the video, and we'll have it in the show notes as well.
Is that a bird dog or something?
Yeah, it looks like a bird dog. Isn't that what that is?
Yeah, that's way smaller than a bird dog. That's
is
cup
it?
sized.
All right. Okay.
Okay. It's a former
What is
Dutch.
it then? Do you know?
It says it's a
Okay.
former Dutch Air Force aircraft that has a special permit to continue using the paint scheme, even though the real registration, Papa Hotel Echo November Juliet, is practically invisible. Yeah, what we can clearly see is another registration number that was historical, I'm imagining. Anyway, so it's lots of fun. And so is this Marcus's own private airplane? No, I haven't been keeping up. Interesting.
Not sure. I know he's been doing some
Looks like
flying.
he's
it's
just
a
doing
Super Cub.
some.
It is. Yep. It is a Super Cub.
Yeah.
Just
Looks like he's just practicing some air-to-air photography by the looks of it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Nice. All right.
It is
You
nice,
should check.
yeah.
You should check out the pictures, dear listeners, by going to the show notes. And thank you, Marcus, for kind of keeping us. Marcus, for many, many years, did an amazing podcast, engineering and science podcast called Omega Tau. And he did like different language versions even. I mean, talking about a lot of work, and they were all very highly produced. In fact, his podcast featured this amazing pilot in the Royal Air Force who flew F-4s in the Royal Air Force. Some dude named Captain Nick Anderson, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so
That was my introduction to podcasting.
That's right. That's how that was the slippery slope where it all began. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
indeed.
Marcus, being a pilot himself, mainly glider pilot, also tended to do mostly aviation-related kind of shows. But I learned a lot about a lot of different types of things, engineering things, by listening to his amazing podcast. So I'm sure it's out there and everywhere you can get a high-quality podcast called
It
Omega
is,
Tau.
and I don't know if you can still get his book or not, but I was looking over at my bookshelf. I do
Oh,
have
yeah.
it. I have the Omega Tau book. It's Once You Start Asking, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, he has a brain the size of a planet. There's no doubt about it. He's one of the smartest pilots I've ever met. And his podcast on string theory just had me tied in knots.
Oh, boy. Wow. And this is what you deserve in your head. Interesting aside. Okay, before we're about to wrap it up, but an interesting aside here. I met with Marcus as he was making his way back home to Germany, and he was coming through Atlanta. I believe he did the ride with the Thunderbirds somewhere up in, I think, Indiana or somewhere in the Midwest. And he said to me, and I thought he was joking, but it turns out he was not. He said the entire reason that he started a podcast was that he knew that his goal was always to fly with the Thunderbirds aerial demonstration team. And he knew that they would give rides to like journalists and other, special people, and he knew that, or he had an idea that if he had a podcast, he was the podcast host and founder and all that kind of stuff, and it was a successful podcast, which it was, or it still is, that they might. Well, I mean, but it's still a great podcast. I mean, yeah, that he would have a chance to perhaps, live out his dream of actually riding in, with the Thunderbirds. And basically after it happened, he thought he was thinking about already like moving on and doing something else. And I thought, I really did think he was joking with me, but it turns out he was not joking. He said, no, that was the reason he did it. And that's a great story, I think. Yeah. So Marcus is awesome. If you're listening, Marcus, yeah, wow. You really put out that bar that you set for professionalism in podcasting is something that not many. We don't even get 50% of that, but there are so many people out there that strive for that kind of excellence, and very few reach it. So we do appreciate the fact that you're still listening to our show. It's nice.
Oh yeah, and I do love his photography. I mean, another of Marcus's skills has been recently, well, not recently, I think he's been doing it for years, is as a professional photographer. He's does more air-to-air photography now than I've ever seen him, but I see a lot of his industrial photography. So he photographs trains and cranes and heavy machinery and installations. It's and it's beautiful stuff. Absolutely fantastic. I really admire him.
And one more aside before we wrap this up, Liz. And I've shared this with the audience before, but if you're new, you may not have heard me tell you this story. But I am such an idiot and operating at 50% brain power that thanks, Liz, you didn't have to, reinforce that. But so when Captain Nick started sending, because he just mentioned that that's how he got into this world of podcasting, and then he found our podcast and started sending us audio feedback, and I never made the connection that this Captain Nick Anderson was the same Captain Nick Anderson as the guy that Marcus interviewed for his Omega Tau podcast. And I think it was in the middle of a show that you had said something about being on his, being interviewed by Marcus. And I went, oh, what? Oh, that like I made the connection finally, like years later. And he said, and I think he'll tell you again right now, that he thought that was the reason why we invited Captain Nick to be a co-host on the show. And,
yeah,
no, had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it.
You fool!
All that great audio feedback that you sent in. That's why.
Captain Nick is just that good that he scored an interview on Marcus's podcast and then landed a co-hosting gig here. So.
Yeah,
there you go.
I mean, that sounds like it'd be a great story, but that wasn't the truth at all.
No,
yeah,
there you go.
All right,
but still,
anyway.
it was my first go, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. He was a lovely interviewer, and it was great fun. And I kind of got the bug.
I'll tell you what, being a great interviewer is not an easy task, and very few can do it as well as Marcus and as well as Captain Nick Anderson, which we just heard earlier in this show. That first part of that interview with that gentleman in the Royal Air Force, Alan Munro, I think.
That's right. Well done.
And so it does take a lot of talent to be a good interviewer. That's for sure. So that's why I never do them, or very rarely. So I think now we're going to wrap it up. We're going to point you over to our website, airlinepilotguide.com, where you'll find some up-to-date and largely outdated information and information about the community and the crew and much, much more. So I keep saying that one of these days
we're crew.
Some of the crew. Well, the important ones. Hey, so I'll say this right now, AJ. Send me a bio and a picture that you want on a website. We'll take care of that between now and the next episode. That's what I'm going to promise. So
we're not recording until 2026.
Well, it may be a while before we have another show. Anyway, so lots of good stuff on the website, and we are also on social media. And Dr. Steph, I mean, that's the whole reason why we have Dr. Steph on the show.
I
Because
mean,
she
I
does
had
such a
to
great
make
job.
an appearance on this show, in the fourth quarter here to
Yeah.
just to tell you about the social media
Exactly.
that we do. So there's a couple of options. You can head over to facebook.com/airlinepilotguy. You can also find us on X. We're at APG Crew. Use that same handle over on Instagram to see Captain Nick's weekly show artwork. And you can also check out these live recordings, the video recordings on YouTube, youtube.com/airlinepilotguy. And for a deeper dive into the community, as always, I will refer you to Hillel to tell you about Slack.
Yeah, Hillel likes taking showers in bathrooms wherever I am, to see if he's ready to tell us about Slack. Can you tell us about Slack?
Okay, but I'm dripping wet.
That's okay. We're used to it. We've got a lot of towels around here to protect all the electronic equipment. And lean into the microphone and tell us all about Slack.
APG listeners, please join us on our Slack team. Slack is a communication, coordination, and sharing platform that works on your mobile, laptop, or browser. On Slack, we share news and ideas. We suggest episode and Plain Tales topics. We plan events and meetups. To get into the Slack team, please email me at slack@airlinepilotguy.com. That's SLACK, Sierra Lima Alpha Charlie Kilo @airlinepilotguy.com. Or send me a tweet with your preferred email address to @Hillel, and I'll send you an invitation. That's Hillel, spelled Hotel India 11 Echo 1, and see you in Slack.
Thanks a lot, Hillel.
Jeff,
What?
which washcloth is mine? I really wish you would stop moving them.
Sorry. Yeah. I like playing little games.
Keep him on his toes.
Anyway, yeah, absolutely. So and we'd also like to thank our producer, Liz. who's
Producer Ray.
reappeared here on
Well
the
done,
video.
Liz.
Liz, all the
Good
hard work
timing.
that you did. Yep. Oh, we don't hear you.
Thanks, Liz.
For some reason, you're muted still, I think.
Can I
There we
just
go.
make a little comment here? We still have a lot of feedback to get through, and I just want to apologize if you've sent feedback in. We have not forgotten about it. It's here, it's waiting. We've just had a few shows where we didn't get to a lot of feedback, but it's
Feedback
coming.
extra.
It hasn't
Feedback
been
special.
lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's possible. This show was almost a feedback extra. We cut down the news quite a bit. Maybe not enough, but
Yeah,
anyway.
since we gone to 2 hours, we just aren't getting to the feedback so much. So, but anyway, just please keep sending it. We love getting it, but we're just not getting through it too fast these days.
Yeah. Yes, we do appreciate your participation in our show by sending us feedback. So we also like to thank the people that participated in our live show, in our live audience. We like to call it our chat room on YouTube. Thank you so much for most of them are here each and every week supporting us and helping us answer questions and a lot of other good stuff. So you should check it out sometime and subscribe to or follow us on social media so you know when we're going to be doing their live recordings.
And Neil makes a good point. I don't know if you're going to read his comment.
Okay.
He said that if you're not on social media, you could go to the APG calendar on the website and add it to your own Google Calendar.
There you go. Good idea. Thank you, Neil. Great advice. And many of us are tiring of social media. So we do have a Google Calendar called APG Community, and you can add it to your own calendar
I
as
just
well.
put it on there as soon as we know when we're going to do it. So
Yep. Awesome. That's just one of the many things that Liz does in the background. So thank you very much, Liz, for that. We do appreciate you.
my pleasure.
And with that, we are going to wish you clear skies, unlimited visibility, and talons, Douglas.
Cheers, y'all.
Bye, everybody. You're welcome.
See you next time.
Beep, beep.
Woohoo!
Boop.
Well done, everybody.
It was great what I saw of it. So
just great to
I
see
saw it.
everybody.
Yeah, it
Too
is.
bad Camacho
Nice.
got busy again. We were
Yeah, I mean, he
we were
was really gonna make
we
an
were this
effort to get him on,
close
yeah.
to getting him on the show.
Oh, this close.
Yeah. I feel like his
I
work
can't-
is going about as well as mine is
Yeah.
in terms of time commitment these days. So I
It's
feel
true.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. Well,
You were
thanks,
saying, AJ?
Stephanie. I know you've got a lot going on. So
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I can't believe I forgot to talk about Triple Tree.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Save that for
Well, you'll have something to talk about
next
next
time. Yeah, next time.
Yeah.
Now,
If you remember.
show titles.
Well, I put it in the Evernote, so long as it doesn't get deleted, we'll find out. Or if Nick changes it.
It'll change from triple tree to something
highly inappropriate, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
He's already working on it, I think. Okay, so now is the time
show
where we
titles.
kind of,
I haven't got a whole
ideas.
bunch of stuff here, but I'll tell you what I got. Tough Times in the Tower. That was that Burbank thing. Tough Times in the Tower. Tumbling Basket. That's the balloon. Tumbling Basket.
Did you see Tim Van Ram's suggestion?
Yeah. We'll get to that one. Yeah.
Okay, I like that one.
Eject the navigator. Eject that navigator, because you're talking about you had to eject the navigator or something to recover the plane.
Yep.
Tied in knots. That was Marcus's string theory thing. He tied you in knots there. And thanks to our wonderful West Coast contingent here from Tim Van Ram, nose picking winglet.
I got that one. I thought that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. We're sure you do
And
something great with it.
Lunatic Down. That was Main Man
that's
Micah.
a good one. That's a good one, Micah.
The Lunatic Down. Yes. Hey, I've got something out to work with there. That's great. Thank
Very
you,
good.
everybody.
All right. You should get to bed.
Okay, everybody.
It's getting late.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you, I guess, sometime next week. As Jeff said, he's going up to Laura's wedding, but we'll try and schedule something.
Hopefully maybe
Wednesday or
earlier in the
something.
week or midweek, or I could even, take the stuff up and maybe do it on Thursday if I get to somewhere in a decent amount of time. I think I could possibly do it on Thursday.
You should just live broadcast from the wedding.
Yeah.
I could do that, but I'm thinking that Laura, you know what? They'll probably never invite me back to another
Never.
wedding of theirs.
I think it's going to look
just make them part of the show as well.
There you go.
Yeah, they think it's going to be a wedding. It's really going to be a recording.
Yes.
I think it's going to look
It's
just
your
like that.
gift to them for their marriage.
It's going to look just like that wedding Nick was at. Isn't that what it's going to look like?
Exactly.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's what
But
I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
That looks like a great party.
Yeah, it looks like a good
I can
time.
just see you at the breakfast, meal, sliding in between the bride and groom with some microphones and putting them on the top table, saying, "Right, we've got a show to do now." So
maybe at the rehearsal dinner you can get a little audio from them. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll try to do that.
Bring your finest muff.
Well,
Thank you. Yes, and Neil says that the chat room could give commentary on the wedding. That would be
great idea.
Oh my God, I'd love it.
I could set up like a live stream and have bring my
Get a
monitor.
TV. Get a
I'm sure
TV, and all
Laura
the
would
comments
just-
could be on a big board on the behind them while they're doing their vows. This is
I'm
brilliant.
sure Laura would just love that.
Oh, she would. I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
everybody, have a good week. We'll see you next time.
yeah,
Bye.
nice one. Cheers, everyone.